Hi, this is 2perfect, 2imperfect. Welcome. I'm talking about me in this predicament. I'm not talking about nobody else, so don't get offended. I hate it when girls sit right here and say, "Them boys ain't no good. Them males ain't no good. They dogs. They ain't nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing but cheat." Oh, that kills me. Jesus knows it does, because in reality, boys are not dogs or males or however you put two and two together, however you do it. Anyways, but they are not the animals. As my sister would say, she compares all guys to animals. They're not animals. We as females have a list of 10 things that we all want in a male. And it seems like when we find somebody who doesn't have at least all those 10 things, and don't get me wrong, nobody is going to have 10 of those things. They can have 8 or 7. And it seems like we throw them to the side. And then we go to a dude who is just nothing. It's like, when you met him, he had nothing. And then as the relationship progresses, the first thing you ask him is, "What you gonna do? When you gonna give me this?" But see, you can't ask somebody something that when you met him, he wasn't doing nothing. So now that you with him, he apparently is not gonna do nothing. It's not nothing wrong with dating somebody who doesn't have nothing. But as long as they're trying to make it to the point where they're trying to gain something, that's okay. But don't go for nobody who has nothing, who ain't gonna never be nothing, and that's never gonna amount to nothing. That just shows you what type of girl you are. You always say you attract these gangster guys. Is it because of the way you dress, the way you act, the way you present yourself? Do you present yourself in a way that will attract a guy who has something going for himself? Don't get me wrong, I have no room to talk. I'm 21. I'm just saying. I matured very quick to be 21. I have since, like the old people say, I am very mature. It seems like I've been on this world before. But I haven't. I don't think. I pray to God I haven't. But anyway, but I just feel that when you get a list and that list is something you want, you have to be willing to compromise sometimes. You have to be willing to get off that high horse that we sit on and realize that things are not handed to us. They are not. We have to work to get them. If a guy has 8 of the things on the list that you want, work with him to make 10. It might not be a perfect 10, but it's still up there near it. Stop trying to find Mr. Right. Public service announcement. Mr. Right does not exist for nobody. Nobody is perfect but God. And unless he is God, he's not gonna be perfect. Males gonna be males. They gonna look at another female. Okay, it's their nature. Just like us as women, we look at other males. It's our nature. But it's a thing that's called trust. It's a thing that you call loyalty. It's a thing that's called compassion. I mean, if he looks, if he speaks, it doesn't matter. If a girl is so confident in herself, she wouldn't care if he saw, talk, hug, or anything to another girl, because she know at the end of the day, he belongs to her just like she belongs to him. And if a guy is so mature about himself, he know that he doesn't care what nobody says about his female. She gonna always be him. She gonna always be there with him through thick and thin, not just through thick and thin, which means the bad, the good, the ugly, the sad. And if he have kids, being a lady, you're supposed to treat them like they're yours, because now it's not just you and him, it's you and him plus his kids. You can't always diss a dude because he has kids, because nowadays most males do have kids, just like most young females have kids, but yet and still we judge them because of the fact they have kids. That's not right. If you're willing to date somebody, you are willing to commit, which basically means you're willing to take along their baggage. Their baggage might be kids, it might be sick parents. You never know what it is, and it's not right for us to sit right here and judge and say, "Oh, I can't date her because of this." Or, "Oh, I heard this." That's the problem, is that in a relationship, we always hear what he say, she say, and what your best friends say and they say. But in reality, I got a question, and I want to know, has it been any time in a relationship that you've been in a relationship with somebody that you liked, and your friends told you that he wasn't no good? I have. And then I thought about it. How can you tell me something about a man when you ain't even got one? And I started to realize that my friends don't like to see me happy because they're not happy. And if they're not happy, then should nobody be happy. That's how some friends roll. And then you got friends who will sit right there and stay with you through thick and thin. They don't care. They're going to tell you how they feel about your boyfriend, but they still going to support your decision 120%. You have dudes that do the same thing, but males, you can't always listen to what other males say because it's either one thing, they're either jealous of your relationship or they want your girl. That's it. I mean, you can't go about everybody's decision because, in my opinion, I'm going to be honest with you. I had a girl. She started a rumor about me. And I'm going to tell you the rumor was that I think I got called. They said that I was burning. Okay. I could have been mean and I could have said something wrong, but I didn't because I'm so much of a mature lady that little stuff like that doesn't bother me. If you believe it, be my guest because I know for a fact my health record is clean. It is squeaky clean. No STD has ever hit this. But it got bad and people started believing it. And I guess they expected me to respond back. But see, the thing about it is I overlook stuff like that. I overdo things like that because that's childish immaturity. To be a guy who hears that, they go on it and they believe it. And it hurts, but then again, it don't because it just shows how easy it is to influence you. That just shows just as females do. You hear that this guy ain't no good and that he did this and that he slept with every dude in this neighborhood and that neighborhood, and the first thing you do is kick him to the curb because of what another girl said. You have to know people. People, you cannot read people. They're not books. They're humans. You have to talk to them. These are the things that talk back. They are not quiet the whole time. I wish that we would stop as females and talking about myself. I wish that we would stop downgrading man and male figures and start looking at ourselves. Because the main problem might not be them. It might be us. So look at yourself in the mirror. And just think about all the past relationships and what happened. It might have been his fault. He might have cheated. But just what? You might have done something bad too. It's always two sides to every story. My great-grandma always told me it's two sides to every story. It is. It's one way to make them meet is if you talk. But if both of you break up and y'all on bad terms, it ain't going to do nothing but stir up more mess than needed. And then, man, if you have a baby, please control your baby mothers. They will drive a nice woman away. It's the same for females. If you got a crazy baby daddy, you need to let him know what's going on because people get ran away from stuff like that. That's not something people want to deal with in a relationship. People don't want to deal with bad kids. I don't say like beat your kids and stuff like that, but your kids are supposed to be respectful. Your kids are supposed to be kids. Your kids are not supposed to be grown. Your kids ain't supposed to talk to you like you talk to another grown-up because that's not respectful. People, that pushes people away. As in a relationship, you are supposed to, it's supposed to be trust, but it seems like a lot of us don't even trust our mates. And as far as I see, if you don't have trust, then you don't need to be in a relationship. If I was in a relationship, because I'm not now, I'm very single and I love it. But if I was in a relationship, I had a big problem with trust. I'm a very jealous girl. I am. But I am also a lady. And I know at times I can get very jealous and I might overdo it. But I always come down and I always apologize, especially when I'm in the wrong. We, as females, we always jump to a conclusion. We always making different assumptions. And it's not for us, it's for males too. I'm talking to both. We all make assumptions. And when we make it, we stick to it. We don't get away from it because we know it's true. And ain't nobody going to tell us it's true. My thing is this, is that if you're going to be in a relationship, make sure you have trust. Make sure you're honest. You're open. Make sure that you are willing to take a step to make everything complete. Don't rush into it. Be a friend before you do anything. That's all some people want is a friend. They don't want a relationship. And that's me. I like